Alright, fellow FPV buddies, th- today I'm going to show you the build video of the Space One FPV Quadcopter. And now, as previously mentioned, did an unboxing and I promised to do like a build video. So I'm going to show you step by step how to build this from the start to finish and get it up and going in the air. So the first thing first when we get from our package is the PDB. The first step that I always do is to open up the motor, the ESCs. So this is the ESCs, and as you can see it came with this JST plug. Well, I'm not a big fan of the JST plug, so I'm gonna remove it and I'm gonna cut it out and solder straight to the panels here. If you see this board here, ESCs, so the negative and the positive. So I'm gonna most likely do this. So I'm gonna start to cut this out. I have a wire stripper. You can use a standard wire stripper. In this case, I'm gonna just use my blade first because I want to make sure you get enough, enough length. So what I'm gonna do is to cut out these wires. Keep it just nice, not too much. Keep that. So you see I've exposed some of the wires here. Oh, make sure the black is a little bit more than enough so I can solder. Alright, so this is where I'm gonna solder to, the negative and the positive ports on the PDB. What I like to do first is to clean the wire pads. So I would put my solder down and just hold a little bit. So clean it. By looking at my ERCs, positive to negative. So I'm gonna solder the positive one first. Just be careful of not to short them out. But anyway, I'm gonna use this liquid tape to cover the solder pad so nothing gets shorted, which is really useful. White. Neat. Here's my aim. Check whether this is like tight, solid. Oh yeah, it's tightly soldered. It's positive and negative. So I'm gonna continue my work on the other 4 ESCs, and it's basically the same process. You just have to be careful of the pins you're soldering to. So positive and negative, just watch this out. And I'm gonna do that real quick. Same drill here, tin the solder pads. Now that I've cleaned my pads, I'm gonna solder my ESCs. Same drill, nothing new. Positive on positive, negative on negative. Sorry, my third ESC. Alright, soldering my fourth ESCs now. And the last ground. Alright, it's all soldered in. Just make sure everything is clean up. Alright, so 4 of the ESCs are soldered into the PDB. Yeah, and you don't want to fry your ESCs, so just make sure you double check them. And now I'm gonna just lay out the components. Yeah, and this is the part 1 of the build video, ESCs to PDB. Alright, now after soldering the ESCs on the PDB, now I'm gonna solder, this is the battery plug onto the main port here. Same drill, positive, negative. In the PDB board. Not too thick, but sometimes I just made it too thick. But so this is a little bit long. So what I like to do is to strip it down into maybe about this size, because this is, well, it doesn't matter, but if you like long cable, yeah, go for it, but I kind of prefer my cable to be shorter. So I'm gonna cut it right here. A little bit of solder. gonna solder the main battery port. So after soldering my main battery port, all the main battery port are done. I don't really like exposed pins like that. Alright, after soldering, I don't really like to leave pins like that hanging because, you know, what if when you're flying and some metal object just shot this stuff up, and you know, and it's bad. So I decided to use like a liquid tape. I know some people, they have this smooth finish liquid tape. I'm not sure what that is, but I choose to use like a liquid tape, and it's how you're gonna do it. You can get this from Home Depot or any hardware store. So it's gonna make it coated with this thin layer of liquid electrical tape. Alright. Alright, now that the 4 ESCs are on the PDBs, I realize I need an auxiliary. So what auxiliary means is you need some extra power out to power, say, your FPV camera or your video transmitter and stuff. So I would love to have these connected, because usually when I plug in my video transmitter and everything, I will have them in JST, so the power, I can remove them easily, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna solder the auxiliary right here. I mean, this is optional. You don't have to do it, but if you are powering off your FPV gear off a separate battery, then you don't really have to do this. But I like the idea of having one battery for everything. Alright, so now I have 2 auxiliaries, and I don't need more, so this is all I need. I might not even use one of them, but we'll see. Electrical tape. Alright, look. Got all my components soldered in the PDB, and I'm gonna continue in the next section to organize the motors and the frame and everything.